rain's getting harder and harder. You know, it's getting louder and louder, and this realisation hits me that I'm sitting in a creek bed and the water is starting to rise. It's not going to take too long at this rate for it to go over my head.
Hinchinbrook is renowned in the hiking community as one of Australia's best-kept secrets. Accessible only by a single ferry that makes the crossing once a day.
You know, when I go hiking, I don't go hiking usually to be with the crowd, so I took off on my own. It was a big sense of freedom, I suppose. I think the isolation is always a huge part of it for me. You know, I'm always out to try and get to those places where not everybody goes to.
There are rarely more than a handful of hikers on Hinchinbrook, scattered along the island's only established trail.
Eventually got towards the end of the day and got to Little Zoe Bay, and first thing I noticed is there's a guy sitting down on the beach wearing a bandana basically, sketching the scene out on the ocean, and I remember thinking, wow, that guy looks pretty chilled out.
Hey, how you going?
Hey. Got some friends in Townsville. They was talking about the Hinchinbrook, you know? What do you got there?
It's the trail notes. Some trail notes for Mount Bowen. I was thinking to climb it, you know.
Take a look.
Yeah, take a look. You know that there's that book, 1,000 Things to Do Before You Die.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently the view from the top of Mount Bowen is in there twice.
How long do you reckon it'll take to climb?
If you're interested, then we can climb it together. I mean.
I straight away noticed that this is a guy who doesn't really dwell on about stuff. Let's get on with the job. That was the type of guy that Warren was.
What do you reckon? I reckon we're in the wrong creek bed. I reckon you're right.
I didn't feel like we were lost. I don't even know if I'd use the term geographically embarrassed. To me, it wasn't a huge deal.
We're gonna lose the light, you know, soon. It's gonna get dark. We can't exactly camp here. Come on, Geert.
Before you know it, you need a torch just to find your bearings. We realized we couldn't go any further. I was just glad to have stopped, and I think Warren was as well. And that's why we made our camp, and we had tea.
So I need to take a leak, and the last thing that I want to do is do it in the creek. You remember, we're out there hiking. This is our drinking water. So the rule is you want to get at least 50 metres away from the creek. So I decided that I'd climb up this embankment and, you know, made my way across the creek, feeling my way with my feet, and got to the wall on the other side. And got my foot up onto the rock. And at that point I heard a huge crack.
In a freak accident, Warren MacDonald is pinned under a chunk of granite weighing more than a ton. He has no idea how badly he's injured, only that he's trapped.
So we just keep pushing at this thing for a couple of minutes.
It's incredible the negative energy that the rock actually gave. It was almost as though the rock was pushing me back. Nothing happened, and it's like trying to push a tank out of the way.
I'm in a world of pain, but there's not a hell of a lot I can do about it. At some point, something kicks in, and I would almost describe it as some kind of primeval survival tactic. And at this point, I start directing Geert.
Oh my God, you're calm. Just stay calm. All we need to do, we need to build a lever. We've got to find a branch. There's something we need to get a big branch. A little branch. I will be as quick as I can. Go quickly, Geert.
The rain's getting harder and harder. You know, it's getting louder and louder, and this realization hits me that I'm sitting in a creek bed and the water is starting to rise. It's not going to take too long at this rate for it to go over my head.
It's been more than 10 hours since the boulder fell on Warren. The torrential rain has flooded every creek.
I'll see you soon.
I had pretty mixed emotions watching Geert walk away. I feel more anxious than anything else. He's my only hope.
Everything is wet and high, and the incredible, enormous amount of vegetation. Leaves, plants, creepers, plants with edges that can cut your neck in two pieces. You go through it.
I found myself riding a roller coaster, is the best way to describe it, where at times I had to psych myself to such a point. It's just like, I'm getting through this. You know, I can do it. I'm coming out the other side. To taking this nosedive down into the depths of despair, in that's it. This is it. They're going to find you dead out here in a couple of days. And I found that I rode that.
I saw the silhouettes of two people near the spot where you come onto the beach after you get dropped off by the ferry. And that gave me enough energy to actually make it. I had the feeling as though you see in Vietnam films when a veteran comes off the battlefield. All of a sudden it seemed so unreal to me what was happening that I thought, which authority is going to believe me? And how are they going to get a rescue party up here if I come along, because they won't believe me?
It's only a short distance from the beach to the ferry, where Geert's efforts are rewarded. The ferry has not yet departed.
The ferry captain, from the very second that he saw my eyes, he knew that some serious thing had happened.
Yeah, copy that. Just stand by. Mate, the rescue services are on their way.
Thank you.
They want you to wait on the beach.
An hour passed. I looked to Mount Bowen and actually changed my position and went sit sideways so I could see it all the time. I just did not want to take my eyes off it anymore. The doctor was very calm, looked at me and he said, he gave me a very friendly nod. Hi, we go up now, and where do you think that we can find him?
Well, we went back. This is close.
something major has just changed in that I'm no longer alone.
There! 10 o'clock, 300 meters! I don't see him, I don't see him!
Helicopter's still one of my favourite sounds.
I see his arm! I can see his arm, he's okay! We're gonna take you back to the beach. We're gonna drop you there, then we're gonna come get him. Okay? Okay. Right.
And I felt really happy and warm. All my tiredness was gone for a few minutes.
How long you been here? I don't know. I don't know. Now, are you allergic to any drugs? Like anything you can give me. Now, we got some equipment to take the boulder off, but it's going to be a slow process. You just hang in there, okay? Now, you hold this. Keep it under your arm, okay? Right, that's it. Keep the pressure on, otherwise you'll be losing fluid.
I would say for the normal mortal man, I would have expected him to die, honestly. If not fairly immediately, perhaps when we were to remove the boulder, there's a chance that toxins from the necrotic tissue, his legs, would enter his circulation and just push him over the edge as far as acidosis and electrolyte imbalance is concerned.
Quite the operation. It took about 2.5 hours for him to lift the rock off me.
The helicopter rose and flew over Mount Bowen, and it was of a stunning beauty. And I could really absorb the beauty, and I had that sense back.